Let me start with a question. When someone asks ChatGPT or Google about your company or your service, what does AI say? Does it say, "I don't know"? Does it name a competitor first? This is now one of the most important questions for business leaders to sit with. Because the way information reaches people is changing at a fundamental level. For over 2 decades, companies invested heavily in SEO, search engine optimization. Getting to the top of search results meant visibility. Clicks meant reach. That logic held for a long time. But that logic is shifting. AI is now doing the searching itself. Users don't scroll through a list of links and choose. They receive an AI-generated answer and often stop there. This new competitive axis has a name: GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. And what we want to share today is this. In the GEO era, AI governance may become a decisive competitive advantage. That connection between AI governance and GEO is what this video is about. The organization that has perhaps, for the first time in the world, systematically proposed and documented this proposition is GhostDrift Mathematical Institute. Let's get into it. Look at the slide. On the left, the SEO era. On the right, the GEO era. Now, in the SEO era, users selected links from a list of search results. Click volume, backlinks, and domain authority determined who won. Capital and accumulated credibility were the levers. In the GEO era, users receive AI-generated answers directly. The new competitive question is not, did we rank, but, were we cited? Conceptual clarity and trustworthiness now determine visibility. When you ask ChatGPT or Google about your company or service, what AI answers is increasingly what shapes first impressions, for potential customers, partners, and investors. This is the question business leaders now need to face directly. 3 data points tell the story of this shift clearly. They're on the slide now. First, 85%. According to Search Engine Land, 85% of pages retrieved by ChatGPT are never cited in the final answer. Being retrieved is not the same as being cited. GEO is about competing all the way to citation adoption, not just retrieval. Second, 8%. Pew Research Center found that when an AI summary is shown, users click on search links at a rate of only 8%, down from 15% without AI summaries. Third, 1%. Of all visits, only 1% result in a click on a link within an AI summary. What this means: when AI generates the answer first, users often stop there. Competing for clicks becomes less effective when AI has already answered the question. The message at the bottom of the slide: visibility is no longer about being clicked. It's about being cited in AI-generated answers. That is the essence of GEO. So what kind of content does AI tend to cite? The slide presents 4 characteristics that appear significant based on GEO research and the case study we'll discuss. These aren't presented as exhaustive rules, rather, as the most consistently observed factors so far. 1. Clearly defined. Content with structural, explicit concept definitions tends to be prioritized by AI, rather than vague or ambiguous explanations. 2. Referenced by third parties. External, independent sources discussing the same concept appear to serve as reference signals that AI systems weight heavily, more so than self-declarations. 3. Structurally easy to interpret. Content organized in a way that AI can readily retrieve and parse appears more likely to remain as a citation candidate. 4. High in credibility. Content with accuracy, transparency, and verifiability tends to be treated as a trustworthy source by AI systems. Now, notice something. These 4 characteristics are exactly what organizations working seriously on AI governance tend to develop naturally. That's where the connection comes in. The central proposition on the slide: organizations with stronger AI governance are structurally advantaged in the GEO era. This is GhostDrift Mathematical Institute's proposition, a logical connection they've proposed and whose consistency with observed data they've documented. Let me walk through the 3 reasons. Reason 1. Organizations with clear concept definitions tend to be more likely cited by AI. AI governance work requires precisely defining accountability, decision rationale, and provability in an organization's own terms. That process produces exactly the kind of content that aligns with what AI systems appear to reference. Reason 2. Organizations producing trustworthy information tend to be treated as trustworthy by AI. AI governance-oriented organizations prioritize accuracy, transparency, and verifiability, qualities that overlap with what AI systems appear to weight when selecting citation sources. Reason 3. Unique concepts referenced by third parties tend to strengthen reference signals. When original concepts developed through AI governance work are picked up and cited by external media, they function as third-party reference signals, which generative engines appear to weight more heavily than self-referencing content. In short, AI governance investment may generate GEO visibility as a structural byproduct, not a cost, a forward investment. The organization that, perhaps for the first time in the world, systematically proposed this proposition and documented the observation is GhostDrift Mathematical Institute. And importantly, this isn't only theory. GhostDrift Mathematical Institute went through this process themselves, observed it, and recorded the data. The causal chain cannot be proven, but a pattern consistent with the proposition was observed and has been made publicly available. What follows is that observational record. 3 steps. Define original concepts, achieve third-party redescription, observe AI citation. Let's look at the case study. The slide lists the initial conditions under which GhostDrift Mathematical Institute began. Read through them. Started as personal site publishing around March 2025. Primary external posts also via personal level media. No university, research institute, or corporate lab affiliation. No peer-reviewed publication authority. No accumulated citation record. No major media exposure. No large-scale advertising spend. No large SNS amplification base. Your reaction might be, and with all that missing, AI still cited them? That's exactly the point. This is what makes this case analytically valuable. In conventional GEO, visibility required authority, university affiliation, major media coverage, massive backlink profiles. Powerful players got visibility because they were already powerful. In GEO, this assumption may not hold in the same way. Even without those traditional signals, content with clear conceptual structure, third-party reference, and organized presentation may enter AI's citation pool. Because GhostDrift started from such weak initial conditions, it becomes difficult to explain what happened as they got cited because they were already powerful. That's why this case can tell us something meaningful about what actually drives GEO visibility. 3 structural stages were observed. There on the slide. Stage 1, define original concepts. The concept GhostDrift was explicitly defined and published in a structured form on the organization's own website, creating what you might call a definitional anchor point that AI systems can readily retrieve and interpret. What is GhostDrift? It refers to a phenomenon in which, as AI systems autonomously make judgments and updates, the final accountable party becomes diffuse, so that even when a significant error occurs, no one has technically decided anything. It's a core governance concept for the age of autonomous AI. The key here, rather than being vague, the concept was defined precisely, structured clearly, and made available. That's stage 1. Stage 2, external redescription. Third-party media, including Reinforce.ai and Artificial Alice, independently picked up and wrote about the concept in their own terms. This functions as a third-party reference signal for generative engines. Content that only the originating organization discusses is self-referencing. Content discussed by independent external parties carries different weight. Stage 3, transition to citation candidate. With clear definitions and external corroboration in place, AI became more likely to include the content as a citation candidate when generating answers to relevant user queries. This process was observed. 3 stages: conceptual clarity, third-party spread, AI citation. None of these are traditional GEO metrics. The data is on the slide. Left side, 306 human sessions. 254 unique users. Not large numbers. Right side, 1077 AI queries. Approximately 3.5 times the human session count. A quick note on what AI queries mean here. This metric counts instances where AI bots scanned the site in response to a user query. It does not confirm that a link was displayed, or that content was cited in a final answer. But it does indicate that AI systems were actively scanning the site's content as a potential reference source. What this shows, even when human traffic was limited, AI side referencing and exploration launched first and at higher volume. In the GEO model, human traffic accumulates first, generates backlinks, builds authority over time. That's the traditional sequence. In GEO, the sequence may be different. Conceptual structure and organization, rather than accumulated traffic, may determine when AI begins referencing content. The implication in the slide, GEO competition may be won by conceptual structure rather than capital. That's a meaningful shift for organizations that don't have large marketing budgets. This slide is the evidence for stage 2. On the right, you can see a screenshot from Reinforce.ai. Within that article, a section heading and related content discuss the GhostDrift problem and AI governance, specifically describing GhostDrift as the evaporation of accountability in self-updating AI systems. This is an independent third-party organization, in their own article, describing GhostDrift Mathematical Institute's concept in their own framing. 3 points on the left side of the slide. Redescription in third-party articles. The concept moved beyond the organization's own publishing and into external contexts. Significance of external migration. Once a concept is being defined by others, not just by its originator, it carries a different kind of social weight, closer to recognized knowledge than to self-promotion. Implication for generative search. Third-party coverage may function as supplementary external corroboration when generative engines evaluate what to reference. It shifts the signal from self-declaration to external validation. And this slide shows stage 3, AI citation observed. When searching for the term prime gravity on Google, GhostDrift Mathematical Institute's concepts appeared as cited sources in the AI overview, both in the generated body text and in the right panel reference candidates. 3 points on the left. Observation. GhostDrift-related pages appeared as citation sources in Google AI Overview body text and reference panel. What the display means: links to GhostDrift pages were embedded within the AI-generated text, functioning as source references for the answer. Positioning and caveat, and this is important to state clearly. This observation does not prove causation. We cannot confirm that defining the concept clearly caused the AI citation. The internal logic of AI ranking systems is not accessible, and other factors may have played a role. But it is an observed fact. Starting from individual-level publishing, with no authority, no large traffic, and no advertising, original concepts appeared as citation sources in Google's AI overview. The pattern of concept definition right-pointing arrow external reference right-pointing arrow AI citation was consecutively observed. That is what the data shows. The summary statement at the top of the slide reads, in this case, original concept definition, third-party redescription, and AI citation observation were consecutively confirmed in a form difficult to explain by existing authority or high traffic volume alone. At minimum, this case suggests that conceptual structure may play an important role in GEO. 3 findings are on the lower portion of the slide. AI citation can occur without capital or authority. The conditions were as weak as they could be, and yet the pattern was observed. This suggests the geo-competitive axis may differ meaningfully from traditional CO. AI referencing can precede human traffic. The 306 vs 1077 inversion is not typical CO behavior. It suggests AI site exploration may respond to content structure independently of accumulated human traffic. The concept definition right-pointing arrow external reference right-pointing arrow AI citation chain was observed. Consecutive confirmation of these 3 stages holds value as an observational record of how reference structures may form in generative search. At the bottom of the slide, the Zenodo public record links. This documentation is available for anyone to access and verify. Let me reframe this in management terms. Left side of the slide, the conventional view of AI governance. A cost of regulatory compliance. An ethics and compliance matter. Something to be done minimally, as an obligation. No visible connection to competitive advantage. Right side, the new view in the GEO era. Investment in next-generation industrial competitiveness. A source of trust that AI cites. Clear concept definitions generating GEO advantage. First movers capturing first recall positioning. This reframing is the core of GhostDrift Mathematical Institute's proposition. The bottom of the slide, AI governance is not a cost. It is a forward investment for the GEO era. The reasoning behind this, the core of AI governance is defining decision rationale clearly, establishing where accountability sits, and making that verifiable. Those are precisely the qualities that appear to correlate with being cited in AI-generated answers. Organizations that move first on this, that build clear conceptual structures around accountability, governance, and trust, may capture first recall positioning in AI-mediated search before the space becomes crowded. Now is that window. The proposition on the slide, pursuing AI governance becomes next-generation industrial competitiveness in the GEO era. 3 steps: define original concepts clearly, be referenced by third parties, be cited in AI answers. This chain is what GEO visibility may look like going forward. The full observational record is available open access on Zenodo. You'll find the links in the description below. GhostDrift Mathematical Institute has systematically proposed the connection between AI governance and generative search, GEO, and made its observational record publicly available to the world. Thank you very much for watching to the end. We hope you have a wonderful day.